Hi, I'm Nicole Federley and I'm a registered dietitian. I'm passionate about transitioning our campus and our community to more plant-based diets, not only for their health, but also for our planet. I'm a sessional instructor with the School of Exercise Science, Physical and Health Education, as well as the project director with the Animals in Society Research Initiative on the DefaultVeg proposal. I've been working with food on campus for the last 5 years, as well as just recently completed my Master of Science, researching how to nudge students toward healthier food choices in our residence cafeteria. Our proposal for the Climate Solutions Challenge is to adopt the DefaultVeg model, with plant-based menu items as the default across campus food outlets and catering to help reduce our UVic food-related emissions. Our project will assess the current impacts of campus food purchasing to our Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions, as UVic has never before reported the food carbon footprint in our climate and sustainability plans.
Why is food a winning sector to reduce UVic's emissions? Hi, I'm Holly Sissel, Project Coordinator with the Animals in Society Research Initiative here at UVic. My master's research focused on the public communication of climate change science and the underreported impacts of livestock agriculture. I studied global food systems with researchers at the University of Oxford.
We know the food system is responsible for more than a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions. We also know that food-related emissions are projected to increase by quite a bit until mid-century. Estimates are such that it could increase by 80%. So we calculated that by 2050, the food system might take up half of the global emissions budget to limit climate change to below 2 degrees Celsius. And others have estimated that the food system might even take up the complete budget by end of the century. So that means it's really essential that we address emissions related to the food system.
Food is responsible for between 1/4 and 1/3 of total anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. This is disguised in Canada's climate reports, where agriculture, listed at only 8%, contains none of the CO2 emissions from farming and food production, which are instead reported under other sectors. Each Canadian's food footprint averages 5.2 tons CO2 equivalent, fully 1/4 of our 20-ton per capita total, but food is overlooked as the sector where we can achieve significant reductions. Canada's research and mitigation plans focus on changing our light bulbs or recycling, when shifting diets instead achieves 10 times the impact. Within food systems, animal products dominate emissions, with meat and dairy responsible for 10 to 50 times the greenhouse gas emissions and land use compared to plant-based proteins. Carbon calculators report animal products at the red tier for highest emissions, and reports like the Eat Lancet Commission recommend shifting to the lower green and yellow tiers for plant-based proteins to minimize our carbon and land footprints and promote food security. Iterations of plant-based catering models, first initiated at Harvard University in 2015, have since been adopted by over 600 educational and healthcare institutions, and we've engaged leading universities with best practices in sustainable food services.
At Cambridge University, the catering service introduced a sustainable food policy in 2016, which cut their carbon and land footprint of the food served by 1/3. So this was a huge success.
We ceased selling ruminant meat, we ceased selling unsustainable fish, we massively promoted plant-based options over other options, and we reduced food waste to a certain extent. Academic support demonstrated that made significant CO2 savings and land use and water use, which was fantastic. It also demonstrated that we were able to do that without impacting on our operations, without impacting on our financial performance. We maintained our market share, increased sales, and we increased our bottom line. So more than anything else, it demonstrated to us that you can achieve sustainability without damaging your business. For where I sat, it was a great success.
So, the bottom line for food service operators is that offering more plant-based and other healthier items does not decrease sales. It just shifts them to better choices. Nearby at UBC, 47% of residents' dining menus are now plant-based, with a goal for more. At UVic, executive chefs are already offering some delicious plant-based dishes like Spanish paella with plant-based sausage and roasted mushrooms and puff pastry. And at the University Club, you can order a Beyond Burger or the Mediterranean Falafel Bowl. With more than 15 grams of protein, it has a green tier footprint of only 1.5 kilos of CO2 equivalent. But if beef was substituted, it would be 25 times that. Shifting our institutional food model to DefaultVeg could not only reduce UVic's carbon footprint from food by up to 1/3, it would also align with Canada's food guide. The healthiest foods for us are also the healthiest foods for our planet. Working with the Office of Sustainability, we would establish UVic's baseline food-related emissions with a goal to seek a commitment from university administration and our food service providers for 60% plant-based campus menus, decreasing the purchase of red and yellow tier foods that are tied to higher Scope 3 emissions. As a public academic institution, UVic can show leadership and align with global research to adopt the DefaultVeg model and not only improve the health of our community, but also help achieve our net zero emissions.